"Do you make the spaghetti?" She's like, "No, that's not me." Even that Mrs. Robinson makes spaghetti.
Maybe.
But it wasn't her. Okay, so can you tell us your name and how long you've lived here?
Sure. My name is Danielle, and I've lived on the Poirier block for 4 years.
Danielle, you helped organize a block party. Can you tell me a little bit about how that experience was for you?
Yeah, it was an interesting experience walking up to strangers' doors and knocking, and a lot of people seemed very unsure of what we wanted. You know, people don't really expect the best when a stranger knocks on their door. They instantly assume that you want something, and it felt really good, one, to sort of surprise them with, we didn't want anything, we wanted to give something and to offer something and to see if they wanted to offer it in return, and then to see what conversations that generated, because each person had a different response and a different thing that triggered in them. So it was great to have an excuse to engage with so many people that I don't really have an excuse to talk to, even though I live right next door to them.
Yeah.
One of the people that we met the day that we were handing out flyers, he wasn't very interested in talking to us because he had to get back to his football game, and his wife was like, "Oh man, he's just all about football." And a few weeks later, a bunch of books were dropped off at my work, and my work didn't need them, and so everyone was like, "I don't know, do you need these books?" And one of the books was a football book, and it was this beautiful hardback book about football stars and football history. And so after having that conversation about how that guy loves football, I thought of him, and I brought the book over, and he had that same reaction of walking up to the door and kind of questioning, like, "Well, what is it that you want?" And like eventually opening up the screen door, and it was so fun to just blow him away by saying, "I thought of you when I saw this football book. Here you go." And it just felt really nice. It was just a very short interaction, but to walk away with both of us being surprised by the interaction was nice.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Like in your life and your family, how has food brought people together? What has that experience been like for you?
That makes me think about kind of the evolving role of food in my family. I think my parents have always been health conscious, and we've always eaten good food. My parents never wanted us to eat like sweet cereals, but we never talked about where food came from or where meat came from when I was little, and over the years, my parents and I, in living separate places, both have learned a lot about thinking about where our food has come from. And so now when I go home, I eat mostly local meats and CSA vegetables, and all from places that I can point across the field and say, "Oh, look, like that's where our lamb came from," or like over that hill, that's where our CSA comes from.
You grew up in a really rural part of Vermont, or is it like kind of rural, suburban?
Well, all Vermont is pretty rural.
Okay.
But it's so it's kind of a mix of rural, but with centralized areas.
Okay.
Definitely not suburban though.
Wow, it's a different. It's a different world. What's it been like living in this neighborhood for the last 3 years? You've been here 3 years now, right?
4 years.
4 years. Okay.
Yeah. During the night, that doesn't feel safe here, and not having direct access to nature has been really hard. In Vermont, I can cross-country ski off of my porch, and so. I definitely haven't been nurturing that part of my personality as much living in the city.
It's been challenging in
Yeah,
that way.
but I've also had access to a lot of other things too.
What's the best part of living in this neighborhood?
In this neighborhood?
On the street.
On
in our
this
house.
street, in this house? Wow.
Danielle's my neighbor. She's my housemate.
We're room neighbors.
We're room neighbors.
Being able to always have a conversation every time I walk in the kitchen, and also being able to watch sunsets from the roof. And
I know you had a dream of having the band play on the roof.
Yeah, but you know, sometimes dreams take a while to manifest.
Take a while, exactly. That might be the next block party.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to have another one so they can play then.
Yeah, I'm feeling it. The next one's coming.
Yay.
Yeah.
Thanks, Danielle.
Yeah, pleasure.
That was a good final interview.